Shabbat Shalom. E-abzu in southern Mesopotamia used to be called the Temple of the Sweet Water. It's where the parasite entity created the first temple to steal vapor from other human beings. Cain is his name, Gilgamesh, Nimrod. I suspect that he lived many generations, and him and Nimrod are one and the same. But because people refuse to accept the fact that anyone could live longer than they're expected to live long, as they can't accept it, that people lived for thousands of years back in the day, and we were all designed to live for thousands of years and more until the parasitic entities created the computer virus that is the temples that are attached to the original program, which is the earth. The earth was created and then a computer virus was attached to it. Temples. Steals vapor. Now Mesopotamia is in the southern part, is in the desert now. But before the temples were built, it was the most pristine environment on the earth, by all accounts. Around there is where Adam and Eve were, and a lot of the book of Genesis and other books talk about. But now those places are deserts. Something Moab has been at these from his youth, and he had not been emptied from vessel to vessel, neither had he gone into captivity. Now the Bible says man is vapor that passes away in a little time. Man is water that passes away in a little time. Now, if you go back to the very first temple when man started to age, because remember in the Old Testament, in the very start, Adam and Eve didn't age until they done something wrong. Something about, well, there's lots of books that are missing. So you have a 150-piece jigsaw puzzle representing the Bible, and you have 50 of the pieces. You're not going to be able to make it. You're not going to be able to create the big picture. You can only guesswork at it unless you get the rest of the pieces. That is humanity's job, as to know the truth and seek the truth. Knocking, the door will be open, seeking you will find. Well, basically, the temple of sweet water, vapor. So when he built the temple, it started to suck the juice. He started to live a long time. There's a story of Gilgamesh had to go and speak to a woman. And the woman, he was furious when the woman told him, "You're only going to live for 500 years, you're going to die." Then he went around the world on something called the Vine of Shipment. It's mentioned in the Bible, that went out even as far as Jaza, Japan, and started up all these religions, started to build all these temples. That was the start of the death of humanity. Now, in one of the books, man is referred to as an apple. You have an Adam's apple. Eve took a bite from an apple. Man is God's finest creation. He was at the centre of the Garden of Eden. So, basically, it's some sort of blood ritual. They were tempted to do something with blood. Eve took a bite out of Adam's apple. That's what it sounds like to me. I could be wrong, but I'm trying to find the truth. If I've said anything in the past that doesn't turn out to be accurate, I apologise. What can I do? I'm only human. But the House of Sweet Water, Mesopotamia, it's a barren desert now, where it was the most, same as Egypt. If you look around, you look at a map of the globe, there's a big massive desert, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It takes up most of Saudi Arabia and places like that. It's called the Sahara. But that's where most of the pyramids are, in that part of the world. And then if you go to Argentina, there's really old pyramids, and next to the old pyramids is another desert along the Andes. So we are finding pyramids, you're finding deserts. So they're sucking the vapor. Tom Cruise has a film, yeah? where he's in a little ship and he flies around and he's fighting other humans, and then they have to go up to some spaceship in the sky, but what it's doing is it's sucking all the energy out of the earth. Now the earth had a lot more energy back in the day. There's something stealing the energy, the life force of the earth. The life force of the earth could be Vapour. Cain slew Abel with a rock, a stone. Then you should not lift a tool upon a stone. If you lift a tool upon a stone, you have polluted it. So basically, the first death, the first murder is linked to a stone and linked to a temple and a city. That city is E-abzu. The evil god of that city was Enki. And the temple was called the source of the sweet water. Although it's in the middle of the desert and there was no river where it was built, and there's no spring either, the source of the sweet water is the other humans that were around. Now these people were living for thousands of years and developing all sorts of technologies that we probably can't fathom at the moment. So what we have is an evil god above our heads in something called a lee, in the Bible it's called, and it has to be emptied. Fire and brimstone, it has to break apart, come down, and all the water has to come down, and then we receive our new bodies in Christ, because 4,000 of our genes, of your DNA strand, your code, your genes, are after being switched off on your DNA strand. So you're not fully developed. At a genetic level, you haven't reached your full potential as an individual. You're dying as a baby at 100 years. That's what it says in the Bible. You are cursed with a curse. You will die as an infant at 100 years. So the Bible considers 100-year-old people infants. And to die, to be worn, the first death, to be worn out and to be withered up is a curse, is a part of a curse. When you build temples, you curse yourself. So if anyone knows anything about computers, you'll know that you have an original copy, and when a virus attaches itself to the copy, it takes it over and makes it act erratically. That's what we're doing. We're acting erratically. The human race is insane because of spirits, evil gods, and disinformation, lies. So basically, we have to pull down all the idols, pull down all the temples wherever they're found, break them up. So any religion that's linked to a stone is linked to Enki. Doesn't matter what anyone tells you, you're going to have all these die-hard believers. They're not going to accept the truth. But the next generation coming up probably will. So any religion with a stone, a temple, a church, or anything at the centre of it has degenerated into a cult. Basically, they all have the same mechanism to kill you, and it's a stone. A tool upon a stone. You don't pray to stones. You pray to the Most High God.